First of all, guys, congratulations. On behalf of a grateful nation, congratulations. Your lives have changed in ways that the last time I saw you guys, I don't think any of us could have predicted. And I know that, you know, a couple of years ago, there were rumors that you guys were thinking about maybe not doing this, you know, maybe not, doing another Olympics.
So glad we did.
Yeah, no kidding.
Aren't you so glad?
Yeah.
Does it keep you awake at night?
Well,
Like,
we knew within the first month of comeback, it was tough.
why is it tough?
It was tough because I was so out of shape, first of all, and it just took a lot to get back on track. But within the first month, I knew it was worth it. It was going to be a different approach, and we really loved our coaching staff, and still do, Mary, France, and Patrice, and just the way that they coach, and they're kind of in the trenches with you, and you could feel how much they care every day. It was such a fulfilling part of our career. So, yeah, looking back at the Olympics, looking back at those 2 years, often I think, like, thank God we did that. Like, imagine we didn't take that chance, and we would have regretted it forever. I really believe that.
Are you going to do another Olympics?
We don't know. I mean, you know when people say that after a big event, you really shouldn't make any sort of serious life decision. We're really taking that to heart. I think we're giving ourselves some time to think and process and focus our energy on the Thank You Canada tour. It's a nice project to sort of consume our energy, and I think we will definitely take this season off of competing, and maybe we'll have some answers in the next few months. It will sort of become clear, but it's not yet.
Yeah, we need to catch up with.
Every couple of years or every couple of decades, there's a moment that you know in real time you're watching history. And that kind of felt like, for me, and I think for a lot of us watching back home, we all felt like we were watching something happen in real time that was going to be a part of this country's history, especially in sport. How did it feel for you guys? Were you guys tuned into what people were thinking back home? Were you in a bubble?
We're pretty good at getting into this insular little bubble when we're competing and making sure that our energy is focused on one another and on our intimate team around us.
Right.
So I can't say that we really had much awareness of what was happening.
When did it hit, or has it hit yet?
No,
You know, I say that, but at the same time, we really felt the love and support. So, you know, I didn't feel the pressure that I maybe did in Sochi when we felt we needed to defend our title. I felt like everyone was behind us, and I felt like we were taking the ice more prepared than ever, more confident, and with this sort of understanding of who we were as skaters and as athletes and as people, and I think that maturity really helped us.
Yeah, for me, I can remember my thoughts in Pyeongchang being very simple. I really was proud on the airplane ride on the way to the Olympics. I was very proud of Tessa, but also very proud of our team and very proud of the work that we'd put in. And the only thing I really thought about that I was nervous about was I didn't want to fall asleep at the wheel at the last minute. We were so prepared. We had done everything. We left no stone unturned. We were so proud of that preparation. We want to make sure that we executed. And that's really the only thing that kept me up in those last couple of nights. Easy to say now that we're 5 months removed, because I think if you talk to our psychologist that was there helping us think very clearly, he would laugh at when I would just chew his ear off the 2 days before.
It seemed like you were living your best life, though, when you were there as well. Like, you were at that hockey game, you had a couple beers.
Do you know what was really funny about our Olympics this time? And I don't want this to sound like it wasn't as fun, but the fun for us was at a different time. I remember being in Vancouver, and okay, we competed and everything really went well. We won the Olympics, but it was a lot of fun after the games. So that almost outshadowed that. And same with Sochi. Like, we got second. We were very proud of the way we skated, and we celebrated. We went to every hockey game. We went to every event we could. We ran around like kids. And the joy from these games really did come on the ice for us. And
Is it because you thought it might be your last one? Is that what it was?
I think a bit of it, and just how fulfilling this part of our career was. And maybe, hopefully, for me, that's a part of being more mature people. We really love our craft, and we're fortunate to execute at the highest level, and that was great for us.
We're all getting older, Scott. It happens.
Oh God, eh? I don't know. I just don't have the party in me. But that really was there was a bit of sadness at the end that it was over a little bit, and I remember just having that quiet moment and hugging backstage and just being like, oh, I wish we could kind of stay in this for a bit.
Well, I mean, it was amazing to watch. And now here we are. You know, Thank You Canada Tour is interesting because you actually get to go out and see and touch fans who are watching you and supporting you this entire run. And a lot of athletes don't get that opportunity.
We're so fortunate as figure skaters. I mean, there's no other amateur sport that really gets to go out and do exhibitions like that. And what a great outlet for us creatively to sort of work on our craft as it relates to the fans and the audience, and not try to appease judges. And also to co-produce. I mean, we have all these ideas and dreams and crazy things in our minds about what we'd like to implement in a show to make it different. I mean,
I'm thinking about forming like a rival tour. It's gonna be me and Ben skating together on the ice. So I need some ideas.
You're welcome, Canada tour. I think
from the ceiling. Like, we had a lot
of
ideas.
How about no thank you, Canada? I think that's what
no
it would be.
thanks. No thanks. Oh, it is kind of neat though, because as you talked about, not everyone has this platform as Olympic athletes, and we really have to be thankful to the people on our arms and on these jackets that they kind of believe in us, and they give us, you know, these 30 cities. We've gotten support from Canadians for, I mean, we've been skating together for 21 years, but 15 of those years we were in kind of the Canadian spotlight, and Canadians really gave us so much support, and we leaned on that for a lot of the lows and highs of our career. So we go to 12 markets a lot in Canada, and to go to these 30 markets, to corners of the country that we haven't seen as much, but we've gotten just as much support from, is special to us. And we want to go into the skating clubs and make a difference and try our best.
I love how ambitious this tour is, because you're gonna, you know, you were inspired obviously by probably, you know, people like Elvis Stoyko, who's gonna be on this tour, but you are gonna be able to go and you know, see kids, and they'll be able to see you, who, you know, and maybe a future Olympian will be in the crowd. Do you think about that?
I do, yeah, especially at this stage in our career, because I remember being a 9-year-old kid in the stands of a skating show and being inspired, and you know, it's important to us to kind of impact skating on a grassroots level, and maybe the development, and even so much as changing the culture and the psychological mindset around skating. I think there's so much that can be done to improve the landscape.
It felt like skating was like the country music of sports for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I don't know if that's an insult, but I love figure skating and country music.
In the way that, like, I used to be like, I love all music except country music, and I feel like that's kind of coming around for your sport as well. But it took the two of you and athletes like you, I think, to push it forward.
Well, that's nice. I mean,
that's a great compliment.
There's a lot to connect with, because, you know, that balance between art and athleticism really resonates with people, and finding that delicate balance, especially in a show setting where the scale tips a little bit more to the artistry, you know, that's the challenge that we're really looking to embrace.
Yeah. And we're not upset that for the next 8 months we don't have to just play to the 9 people sitting in front of the computer screen, to be honest. And
yeah, you get to play to the fans.
Yeah, and that's what we're really passionate about, and I think in those moments at the end of our free dance, or at the end of our Olympics, we can still have. I mean, we're proud of the way we prepared and the art that we were able to deliver, and hopefully people can connect with that. And that's for the fans more than it is for the judges. I mean, we're fierce competitors and we wanted to win, but now we want to be the best artistically. And
how did you go about selecting who's going to be on this tour with you? You mentioned you guys are producing it. I mean, the names on this tour are unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty natural fit in choosing the castmates, really, because we experienced such success together with the team event in Pyeongchang, and that was sort of inevitable, those choices, and to share the ice in a different capacity will be really special to tour the country. And I mean, touring with someone like Elvis, who has such experience, and what a legend in the sport, and his passion for this project is palpable. It's fun to be around.
It's so, even just sitting with him before this interview and chatting, he's more motivated than I've ever seen him.
He looks fit too.
He's in great shape, and he has so much experience. You know, for people like us who are kind of just fresh out of the amateur world again and going into the pro, to see someone like that who's had a 20-year career and is still that motivated, it's inspiring for us. And we're so happy to have his energy and knowledge on this, and we're going to lean on him a lot.
When you see somebody like an Elvis Stoyko, do you see somebody who's, is that the path that the two of you want to go down? Do you want to be skating for the rest of your lives? Well, or do you want to maybe eventually do something different, maybe disappear from the spotlight?
That's a good question. I think I can't imagine us skating that, you know, for a really extended period of time. But what I love about Elvis is he's trying so many things. I mean, he has his martial arts, his acting, his music, his go-karting. Yeah. I mean, he has his hand in so many things, and I think he's just come back to skating with a renewed sense of passion. And well, I think we're too close to the amateur side of things to imagine what the future looks like for us.
We've kind of committed to each other for a couple of years, and then we'll have to reevaluate. I mean, we went back to competitive skating because we missed it, and if we don't find something in the pro world that does the same thing for us and satisfies us and makes us have that feeling of fulfillment like the last 2 years did, then we probably won't be skating for long. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go. After
everything that you guys have accomplished individually and together, you seem to be at this crossroads where you don't know what the future holds. Is that exciting? Is it scary?
It's very exciting, I think. It's in some days it's scary, but very different from the last 2 games that we had. This feels more exciting than scary. I think in 2010 I had no idea. In 2014 I thought I did, and now it just seems like when we're following our passions and good things are happening. And this Thank You Canada Tour is a project that we've talked about for years, and to have people that actually will back us and that's already selling well and the fans are excited and we're getting some great feedback on social, it still feels unreal. It feels like it's a dream. So I still feel I'm at the fortunate stage, but the next steps are exciting at the same time.
What can people expect? It's a long tour. You guys are doing like almost 30 dates.
Yeah, I mean, right now the vision is sort of the first half of the show and nod to people's career, and the second half sort of an extended, long piece that shows where we want skating to go and where we want the performance element to go in the show world. And we have a great creative team working on this, and we're at a really fun stage right now because, as I mentioned, we're just throwing out every crazy idea. I said at the end of one of our conference calls the other day, like, what about confetti at the end? Yeah. And then I got an email the next day, I think we found confetti that could work, that you could skate over, and all these crazy things. So.
And we're kind of asking our castmates to do the same, kind of come up with all the ideas and things they want to do, because they're at a very similar point. I mean, Patrick Chan announcing his retirement, Megan and Eric as well.
Retirement is such a
awful term. Yeah,
it's not an awful term. Well, it depends who you ask, but it's so final.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's another thing that we're so lucky to have in skating. Like, you retire from the Olympic or amateur world and you still have a whole nother world to explore, which is part of why we want to create the second half that is maybe a nod to where we want to take the sport and what we want to do creatively. And we're so proud of our creative team and what they created for us in 8 minutes of skating in the last 2 years, or 16 minutes, I guess, in 2 years. And now we're going to be able to create a show worth. And we can't wait to kind of go through that with them and our castmates.
With other elements, hopefully not just skating, too.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what the problem with skating shows is too much skating.
It's amazing to me that, in the competition aspect of it, and what we saw is, you guys have trained literally your entire lives. You've known each other for decades now, and it boils down to a couple minutes.
Yeah.
It's the magic of it.
It's a crazy way to live your life.
It's
a crazy way to live your life. Yeah,
it is. I remember thinking, a year before the Olympics, having a piece of gum, thinking, is this piece of gum going to affect my chances at winning the Olympics? Or if I take 12 extra steps to that crossing, will that affect my chances? And then it can just get all consuming. Like that kind of pressure, you realize when you're out of it, how intense and stressful that is to just live with that constant weight.
No wonder you're rethinking whether or not you want to be Olympian.
And that's why we need to catch our breath. I remember going back to Gadbois, we were training, going into the coffee shop I went every day and being like, oh, I don't remember that on the wall, or that, how long has this been here? And you realize just how you're going through your life. You're like, okay, I'm going to get a cup of coffee, and then I got to be at the rink because I want to win the Olympics, and I'm going to win the Olympics, and then also I want to win the Olympics. That's really all you think about. That's the way we did our sport.
We sound fascinating, don't we?
Yeah.
So interesting.
Riveting.
So interesting why we're both still single. It's hard to have a conversation with us, but we're starting to fix that.
Good for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So great to chat.
You too.